It was good to get on the field, see everybody out there yesterday, young guys, old guys, some guys that we've been anxious to get back out there on the field. The kids had a good workout. We've got another one today as we go through our walkthroughs in the morning and our practices in the afternoon. And we've got a nice little chunk of about 6 practices here before our first little break. So we're off to a good start. Fire away.
Raise your hand and. Yeah.
All right.
No.
I suppose after a year where you had so many young players, you can see a noticeable difference after a year of strength and conditioning. Talk about some of the guys who've made some good strides there.
Sure. I mean, I do think physically we've got guys that another year of nutrition, another year of lifting that look better. You know, they all have different things that they're trying to accomplish. Some of them are weight gain guys, some of them are weight loss guys. But, I mean, you look at some of our guys that still have a ways to go, but when you think about what Hezekiah Grimsley looked like when he first got here versus now, you know, Dax, much has been made about him and his weight and, you know, how he's made a concerted effort to slim down a little bit. But, you know, guys that, you know, maybe we haven't talked about very much. Alan Tisdale, to me, continues to develop and improve his body. You know, Armani Chapman's another one on the defensive side of the ball that continues to develop and grow. And you know, it's fun to see those guys give themselves a chance through their hard work to have a chance to be players.
Where are you starting out the freshman offensive line? Lester, Pritchard, Hudson, are they all starting at guard, or what do you guys think of that?
Pritchard has been starting at center. I mean, has started out at center. Doug has been at guard. Hudson has been at tackle, and Jesse's been at guard. Nestor and Hudson have been on the right side. Jesse's been on the left.
Is that fluid? I mean, is that going to kind of change, or how long do you kind of keep?
Yeah, since we've only practiced with them one time, I'd say it's pretty fluid. You know, like we haven't even put pads on. I don't know where they'll end up.
Yeah.
You know, Will's probably a little more of a center body. Kind of was our envision for him as we went through recruiting with Will. You know, the other guys we'll just see. I don't really know how it'll all shake out. We're just trying to get them pointed in the right direction right now.
I think at least yesterday you had Burgundy on Hoffman and Burmeister. I don't know if that's changed, but today the season is approaching. Is there a time that you need to know about somebody like Brock who maybe could be in line to compete for a starting spot? Sure,
sooner rather than later would be good. I haven't projected forward my own thoughts towards a drop-dead date. We're all anxious to hopefully hear some good news. So we'll continue to manage it, try and certainly get him reps, but also try and play both sides of the coin a little bit for us right now. And it's early enough that it's not a huge issue. But I'm optimistic. I'm not sure why I'm optimistic, but I'm optimistic that eventually we'll hear something. I don't know.
Coach, the Bud news obviously dominated the other day. Do you feel like now at this point the emotional aspect of that has kind of subsided a little bit, and do you feel like you guys are back to normal?
Yeah, I haven't heard a word about it since then, and I don't mean that in any negative way towards Bud, but Bud made it clear that's the way he wants it. So our kids have been great, have been energized and focused on ourselves and getting better, and you know that's also kind of per the directive from Bud. So you know once we got through all of that stuff and all that stuff came out and got it out on the table, and then the guys have been full steam ahead.
Jeremy, this first practice with you guys, where do you feel he is right now?
Oh, I have no idea. I just know it was great to have him out there. You know, like we brought him up at the end of practice. He's been here for over a year now, and that was his first practice. You know, we'll continue to monitor him in terms of, you know, he's a perfect example of part of our GPS system helping us with return to play people, that we have specific goals and things that we want to reach with him. So we still hold him out of some stuff, trying to take it slowly, and we'll evaluate where he's at. It's just good to have him out there to start with.
Receivers got an influx of young guys now, and then Elijah Bowen, a couple other guys said he's kind of really impressed from the spring. Kind of, what are your thoughts kind of on just the additions here?
The 4 freshmen.
Yeah.
I think they're all unique. They're all kind of at different levels of development. I walked off the field feeling really good about all 4 of them's future here. I don't know how soon. It's hard for me to rate after one day how soon any of the 4 will be able to contribute, but I really was impressed by all of them, and like I said, they're all kind of, 2 of them have never played really wide receiver. Jaden and Tavion played quarterback, so there's a little bit of a transition there, obviously, but I've been pleased and impressed by what they can be, just watching them after one day.
What about Elijah? Just because he was here too.
Yeah, he's just a bigger kid. He's just a different type body. Has some real quickness for a big kid. Still learning to try and play fast. Is going to have to. We have to keep him healthy and keep him practicing, because he's got a lot to learn in terms of the nuances of playing the position.
Well, staying on receivers, Trey Turner obviously didn't suffer much last year. It seemed like, with the fact that he's not the biggest dude in the world, and he said he added a little weight in the offseason. Is he a guy that you feel like needs to either add weight or redistribute weight as he gets older, just to be able to continue to hang?
Yes. Now, he'll never be just a huge person, but he's made a concerted effort. If you think back, he came at semester, his shoulder was injured, so he's very limited in what he could do his first semester in terms of lifting and all that sort of stuff. It was about getting healthy, and he's dealt with bumps and bruises along the way. But this summer was a really good long block for him of training, and you can see it in his body. He has improved his body. I told him that, because in all seriousness, Trey, like, you do look a lot better. We still have a long way to go with that, but it's a part of his focus in terms of he knows, for whatever reason, that he had large strides to make, basketball and all that sort of stuff, which I think those are all good. I'm not banging on playing other sports, but he was a pretty serious basketball player. Wasn't in the weight room as much as some other guys. And, guys either run from that and hide from that, or they embrace it and try and get better. And Trey has embraced it and tried to get better.
Anthony?
Coach, what are some of the little, minute details that you look out for in these early days as the competition starts to emerge and players are really trying to make themselves known and try to play plan?
Well, it goes quickly. I mean, the installation, you've got guys getting installation in special teams on their side of the ball. Can you retain that information and still play fast? It's hard, particularly for new guys when they're thinking to play quickly. It's just very difficult for almost anybody to do. So how can we retain the information as we move forward, trying to evaluate specific skill sets? We haven't, it's one day, so I didn't sit down and say, okay, everybody give me a report on the new guys after one day. That's just, we'll continue to get a body of work here and then try and our best to narrow it down to see who's got a chance to help us moving forward.
Andy?
You got Jalen Brickman on the defensive line now. Is he an edge or a tackle?
He's working at end.
How kind of unusual is that for a linebacker to move down to end? What was the thought process behind moving there?
Well, I felt like Jalen had been, I don't know how to say this nicely, but he'd been fighting his own growth. He's a big person. He's got a, it was almost like he was working so hard to stay at linebacker weight and mobility that it was almost hurting him. And you know, Bud talked to him, Charlie talked to him, I talked to him about that possibility, and he's embraced it. And I think he feels a lot better, quite honestly. He almost immediately went up to 260 or 265 without even really trying. And I think it's a more comfortable spot for him. Now, he's obviously learning what to do and technique and all that sort of stuff, but just from a physical standpoint, I think it was just a more natural move for him.
Was he the only position change from the spring?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I can't think of it.
I mean, I'm not trying to hide any of them. I've got the depth chart right here in front of me. I don't think there's another one.
And is anybody out? I didn't see anybody on the sidelines for injuries, but is anybody?
No, we're good so far.
Was that a better? I mean, spring was pretty rough with injuries. I mean, obviously happy with the way the kind of summer turned out in that perspective. Is that as healthy as you've been to kick off fall camp?
I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know. It's good to have those guys back. You know, there's several guys that played beat up throughout the entire season, and you know, as a result of that, they missed spring ball. You know, Khalil and Dalton Keene are the first two that come to mind. Christian Darrisaw is another one. There's a bunch of them that really toughed it out through the season, and we didn't have them in the spring, but we knew we were going to get them back, and it's been good to see them healthy and feeling good and out there practicing.
Norm?
We're going to try to do something with this 150th anniversary of college football stuff for our preseason college football.
Okay.
So I'll throw this one on you.
You want a brief recap of the last 150 years?
Yeah, good plan. Let's start now. You played quarterback in college. You're from a football crazy state steeped in college football tradition. As you view the game now, is it headed a good direction or a bad direction, or kind of give you can go positively or negatively?
I sure could go positively or negatively on that one. I'm sure there are people that'll roll their eyes at this, but there's so much good in this game. It does so much good for so many people. Are there risks in it? Absolutely. But it has changed people's lives. It has taught people lessons. It has made some young men better people. In my opinion, it is the greatest team sport ever invented. Do we have our challenges in front of us? 100%, absolutely. On a lot of fronts. You know, we have to continue to investigate with an educated and open mind safety of the people playing the game. There's an element of college football and business and that whole paradigm and what it looks like and how it's regulated that is completely imperfect and, in my opinion, in need of intense scrutiny and how it's organized. And you know, I tell our coaches all the time, like, don't just tell me the problems. Anybody can tell you the problems. I need guys that can help us find solutions to the problems. And I'm certainly in this press conference not going to give you the answers. I don't have them. But I do think when we just ignore the issues or just go with the flow, that's when we get ourselves into problems. I think we do need to have really intelligent conversations about the future of college football and how it's going to be structured and what we're going to do with it.
What are some of those? I mean, I think we have an idea of what you would perhaps say, but what are some of those issues in your mind?
Well, there's certainly the whole amateurism. There's the financial aspect. You know, football coaches have, through some of our own poor decisions, lost some credibility, which I think is a shame. There's been, you know, you combine poor decisions with the amount of money that's being made right now, and I think that's eroded away a little bit of the credibility of our profession, which I hate to see. And, you know, the business model You know, I mean, there's no question. Like, I don't think we should just ignore what's going on. There's a tremendous amount of good that comes through what we're all doing, but it's too hard to just ignore. I think, you know, again, I don't have the correct answer, but I do think we would be wise to take a good hard look at it.
Coach, I think it was Divine the other day who said last year there were some negative attitudes heading into games. He mentioned Notre Dame. Some guys thought that you guys couldn't win the game. Is that something that you noticed? And have you seen kind of a change in the culture at all this year so far?
Well, I think I've noticed a lot. I don't always share it all, but I do feel like this group has a feeling for each other that's unique and special. I really do. I think they genuinely care about each other and enjoy each other's company. It doesn't mean all 110 of them are best friends, but I do think there is a level of unique chemistry here going on right now that has a chance to be pretty special.
Chris, Damon Hazelton's dropped weight this year. Have you seen an uptick in Fuente or anything like that?
You know, I think, I don't know that he's noticeably quicker. You know, you want him to be comfortable. You know, he's a little bit leaner than a year ago. So, you know, we'll see as we go through it how he feels like he handles it through camp and when pads are on and that sort of stuff. But he looks good. It's certainly, I don't think it's a negative by any means.
How do you work in Braxton versus like a freshman and not kind of a mid-year enrollee? How do you try to work him in, and what's kind of the approach you guys take?
Well, we just, for right now, we rotate those guys through, and we, you know, have a couple guys take reps with the ones and a couple guys take reps with the twos. Right now, we're still repping the third huddle, which eventually that kind of goes away. So, you know, we just, I mean, there's no secret recipe or great math formula, but we try and rotate those guys through to give them opportunities so we can evaluate them.
And a couple players said his work ethic impressed them throughout the summer. Is that when you saw from him?
I did. I thought he was very impressive. We knew that he was a good athlete. He is a studious person, an intelligent person, and but you really don't know until you see him go through some hard workouts and hard times. And he rose to the occasion and he's very serious. Did a really good job through the summer.
Well, Coach, on the lighter side, I don't know if you're going on record about this, but you're looking pretty pumped. What have you been up to? How do you find time as a coach to get in serious workouts? Because you put on some muscle since you started.
I appreciate the compliment. I go down and try and get some type of exercise every day. Like if I have to get up and walk out and of whatever's going on, then I'm going to try my best to find time to go do that. Whether it's going for a jog or going in the weight room. I've probably been in the weight room a little bit more. And part of that is because it gives me a chance to be around the players a little more. You know, I slide in there with them sometimes when we're doing extra workouts or whatever.
Respond to that when they see you in there?
Well, I'm not in there every day with them. I'm not, like, and I don't go in there to do anything other than just slide in there. But I'll go in there, sometimes we have our extra stuff after practice or whatever, when they just slide in there with them and go, just to be around them some more.
So you haven't been challenged to pick squat Friday to take part?
You and Jared squaring up.
No, I'm not, got no interest in that. Like, I'm not in that I'm down there to feel better, not worse.
He's good at racking on big squat.
Yeah, I'll help, but.
As you sort of hinted at back in the spring, you had everybody but the people in this room returning punts yesterday, it seemed like. Are there any of those guys that are just particularly enthusiastic about wanting to do that, or they all kind of come up to you at different points and say, I'm the guy? back
Yeah, I will tell you this. I'll give you a little update after one day. Yeah, there are a lot of guys that come up to me and tell me they can return punts. A lot.
Tim Settle.
Yeah, right. And it's early, but Hezekiah has done a really good job, and Tavion Robinson seems to be pretty natural. That doesn't mean those guys are going to be the ones. That doesn't mean anything's been decided. Y'all know how I am about that. I'm usually pretty tight-lipped. I'm just telling you, after one day, those two looked pretty comfortable and natural back there.